Welcome to another episode of the Conscious Reconstruction Podcast. I am the host with the most, aka that nigga him. If y'all didn't know, I went out and I got some of my him back.
I'm here, and so is AP. Ash potato.
I immediately knew what he meant when he called you that.
She had 3 APs.
She does not look amused.
I know what the fuck was going on. Like, fuck AP.
I'm confused.
Yeah,
Bitch ass nigga inviting this nigga here without my goddamn consent.
No, that's
You
like
are AP.
Yes, you.
Start hating on yourself.
Yeah, I did. It was for real.
Premeditatively.
Quickly, like, oh, who the fuck is AP? No, you can
close
rocks.
that if you want. It don't got to stay open.
I didn't know what the heck it was. And
It just seems like it is in the way sometimes. So
it just keeps popping up because it's like there's more than one. All right. So AITA or AITA 8. Yeah, I think so.
1,000.
Well, this is going to be a wonderful start to everything, every single woman's dream, having a wedding. So AITA for being the talk of my cousin's wedding. So my cousin was having a destination wedding, and we were all required to book hotel rooms for ourselves. My parents booked two rooms, one of them and one for my brothers and I. Everything was going well until we got there. Apparently, one of the relatives did not book a room for her family. Uncle, auntie, cousin, there was no room available, and they wanted to bunk with us. To keep the peace, my dad said yes. The plan was the couple will be staying in my parents' room, and the son will be staying in our room. We had 2 queen-size beds and a pull-out couch. I told the cousin 15M to sleep on the pull-out couch, but he wanted to sleep on the bed, my bed. I told him no because I don't feel comfortable enough to do that with someone I only met once or twice per year or so. He started to say mean things about me and my body, saying that it's rich of me to think that he ever would hit on someone fat like me. I'm not obese, but I am thicker. And in my community, everyone else is thinner. I tried to go on an extreme diet before. That made my parents worried, and I stopped from continuously starving myself. My brothers overheard the conversation and pulled them out of the room. They were fuming and wanted to do more, but I stopped them, went to tell my parents. My parents were fuming, worried that this would trigger me, so they kicked my auntie and uncle out also. Uncle and aunt told my cousin to apologize to me, saying that he was just a blunt person and really shouldn't assume things since we were cousins and related. My parents were not having it and told them to find other rooms or go to another hotel somewhere else. People were talking about this during the wedding. Some thought I was too sensitive and to not assume anything since he was younger and my cousin. Others thought my parents needed to chill, etc. Well, my bride cousin was yelling at me for being too dramatic and saying that I wanted to have all the attention on me because I'm a attention whore.
No.
My family left the wedding early because of it too. AITA.
Nope.
I say
And
no.
I support your family. They are a whole fucking unit.
It's just like
The brother said, "We'll beat your ass, little boy. We
Like,
don't
no,
care that
don't
you're
beat
a
him up."
child and we're grown. We'll put hands on you about our brother."
Oh no,
Parents said,
I think it was a sister.
You talking about our child? Get the fuck out of my room.
It's just
And no, little boy, you can't sleep in a fucking bed with me and I'm a woman. What's wrong with you? Your little horny ass.
You know, she's not.
And the fact that you went straight to it being a sexual thing shows that your
But you
mind was
was
already
already right
thinking
there.
about that. You little weirdo. Little weirdo ass little boy. Little weirdo looking at your cousin ass little boy. nasty.
I mean, everyone assuming like it's your cousin. He would never do anything like that.
That nigga
I have
15 years old.
examples aside of the world to say that you were wrong.
Yes, completely wrong about that.
It's just like, and you would straight to being like, "Oh, you're fat anyway. I wouldn't do that to you."
Too big to be sleeping with
Sit
another
up.
fucking woman, nigga. What? No.
Just sleep on a pull-out couch. You hear out of charity anyway.
A grown ass
I understand
woman,
pull-out couches aren't actually, or like pull-out beds are the worst. Like the actual worst.
When was the last time I slept with another person that I was also grown with? This was in Philadelphia when I stayed at my friend's place. She was a woman though.
Like the last time I
But that
slept
was
in
it.
the bed with another fully grown adult that I was not actively sleeping with
Yeah.
was my sister.
Yeah, see? And that's out of necessity.
It's just like, and I still really didn't want to be there.
Right.
It's just like, oh, well, your parents are sleep. Well, they're sleeping in the living room. They're sleeping there. It's just like, I'll sleep on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Get away from me. Ugh. Go sit your. It was like, Jesus Christ. If it wouldn't cause problems and you weren't pregnant, I would. But it was my sister, so whatever. And I think I was inside of middle school or something like that. So I wasn't even really an adult.
I don't think I've adult that slept in my bed that I'm not sleeping with.
Tony doesn't really even cross your mind.
No. Fuck.
Like, I would rather just couch
I've
it.
been a teenager boy and another teenager boy, and we slept in the same bed, head to foot. But I was a child and he was a child, so I ain't never been an adult. And
I
had
would
another
just almost rather just sleep on the
adult
floor or
man.
someplace else.
or no adult man has slept in my bed that. And realistically, no adult woman that has slept in my bed that I wasn't like engaged in some type of. No adult man has slept in my bed, period.
So let's get that out the way.
And no adult woman that I wasn't engaged in like relations has been like just sleeping in my bed. Those things aren't happening. I don't understand the situation. And I'm also not letting a 15-year-old girl sleep in my bed, regardless of the fact that she's my cousin.
No.
That's weird.
That's not a line that I'm willing to broach. It's just one of those situations, just like, I don't want there to ever be the possible conception of something weird happening.
I don't want
And I
us
also
to
don't,
start off on opposite sides of the bed like normal human beings that recognize that, hey, we cousins, we shouldn't be close to each other. And then through the moving of night, we end up next to each other all cuddled up and shit. And I wake up next to you. What kind of shit? Yeah.
no spoon.
Even on the most normalest of things, that's unacceptable to wake up like that. How about we just avoid the situation altogether? And, you
And
go
with
sleep your
this
ass on the
weird old
fucking
boy,
couch.
I know he
Right.
goes, it's just like you sit, old boy probably sitting up here, Birdman hand rubbing like, look at old thickums. I'm gonna move my way into her bed and be
Right.
like, oops, I didn't squeeze it on purpose.
Yeah, if a nigga can't get to you, he'll attack your fucking looks. That's the first thing niggas like to do is attack your goddamn looks.
You shouldn't have said no. You should just let him
That's
catch
the
that
first
L
thing.
fade out inside the stairwell.
Yep.
What happened to our son? He fell down the steps. Obviously, he was on the steps and he's bruised. Ain't that right? I'm fine sleeping on the pull-out couch. Yeah. No, it's just that would have solved all your problems and there wouldn't have been any talk about anything. The talk would have been your cousin falling down the steps.
No, she wins. She's not the asshole.
And he's also weird for just suggesting it.
Yeah, he has to go. Am I the asshole for tricking my husband into eating the food I cooked by making him think his mom sent it? My husband Mickey loves his mom's cooking. He always praises her for her food she makes and even mentioned it in his groom speech at the wedding. I consider myself a good cook. In fact, I'm going to just say that I'm even better than his mom. But the problem is he doesn't even want to try my cooking or give me a chance to prove it. I thought this would change after marriage, but 5 months later, nothing's changed. What does he eat if he's not eating what I'm cooking? He has requested that his mom send him a meal every day to eat for dinner after getting off work, except for the weekend, where we go over to her house to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert there. Every single day, he'd come home and ask if his mom sent him a meal. I grew irritated of this, and whenever I try to offer him to taste any of the wasted food I cook, that's your fault, but I'm going to continue. He lay in the bed and say he's full. So I come up with an idea. I cooked him the same meal his mom sent him that day and put it aside till he got home. He asked if his mom sent a meal for dinner. I said yes and served him my own version of the meal, not hers. He didn't notice anything different. He ate the whole thing with no hesitation. And I sat across from him asking him questions about how good the meal was. He went on praising it, saying how perfect, exceptional it was, and how it was just what he needed after a long day of work. I smiled and said, "You're welcome." He froze and looked at me for a minute. Looked down at the plate and back at me and said, "Wait, you made this, didn't you?" I said, "With my own hands from scratch." His face suddenly went red and he got upset and said that this was not cool. I told him that he never even gave me a chance to show him how good my cooking is and that he's probably just used to his mom's cooking and is rejecting any other alternative, which is unfair to me. He said that I shouldn't have lied to him and basically tricked him into eating food that he had no idea where it came from. I said he liked it and admitted that it was good, so what's the issue? He got up from the seat, threw the napkin, and said that I was unbelievable and walked out. He got quiet the rest of the evening, then posted about it on Facebook in a vague post about being tricked into eating someone's food like that. I felt guilt and bad thinking maybe I really shouldn't have done this, but I was frustrated with how he kept turning down every meal I tried to cook him and then say, "No thanks, I prefer my mom's food."
I already know this. I knew this was going to strike a chord with you because
What's up with you, madam?
there are particular things that you is just like, I like my food the way I like my food.
Yeah. You're the asshole. How does the room feel? I need to know how the room feels. Because y'all
I feel
quiet.
like this entire situation is very, very weird.
It's some white people shit. Let's just get that out the fucking way. But
Like, I don't understand how, one, is it weird to say that I probably would never marry a woman if I didn't like anything that she ever cooked. Like, what are we doing here?
Time out. That's not what he said. He didn't say I don't like her cooking. He said I don't want to try her cooking. I have a cook. I got a goddamn personal chef.
No, you really don't.
No. Actually, I do. What a personal chef is someone who makes you meals on request. My mama makes me meals on request. Personal chef. And
That's
I gotta pay
a
her.
bizarre level of codependence that I don't.
I'm not dependent.
No, yes, you are.
that shit is weird.
I handle my breakfast.
No, you don't.
I do.
No.
Yeah, no. On the weekends, I don't. And I only get dinner from her. So I handle my breakfast. I handle my lunch. So I manage to maintain 2 of the 3 meals. And then I have a chef make my third one.
So
If
you
the
make
chef wasn't
10
my mother-
meals.
And wait, let's say my mother is a chef. Let's say that's her profession.
Maybe.
Is it weird to have her say, "Hey, mom"?
Yes, actually, yes, still is.
Why?
Yes, because that's your mother, dude. Have some sort of separation from your fucking mom.
Why? She's a chef and she cooks. It's not like I'm seeing her. I
It's
don't even
weird.
see her.
It's like she's taking care of
You
you
are
still.
literally
She is
having
nourishing
someone.
you.
I want you to deliver
She's-
me food.
Yeah, like
every
she's still
evening.
being a mother where she shouldn't have to be a mother towards you. No matter if she's a chef or she live whatever, she's still mothering you deeply too. She feeding that ass like you got the rumbly. Oh, thanks, mom. You get the rosy cheeks and shit. Come
No, I
on
don't. I
now.
don't even see her. I
And
don't even
the
see
bigger
her.
thing is like,
that is what child
You know, the
abuse
weird thing
but
is,
she's
it's
not
just
the
like, if it-
asshole.
If she,
I know my mother's cooking from anyone else's. So like when my mother makes dressing and someone else makes dressing, I can tell the difference.
Right. So the fact that
you really couldn't tell the difference between the differences, that means you really don't care that much.
Exactly.
No,
he was trying to piss her off.
That's not true.
No, yes it is, because no two pizza joints is the same, even if two motherfuckers in there.
If I hand you a slice of Marco's, I hand you a slice of Papa John's.
You won't know the fucking difference.
No.
But she's still an asshole, but not for the reason for this.
That he was complimentary of the meal is because he already know that if he's not, she gonna bring up that, well, let me cook for you shit. We not going there. When she said, you're welcome, he immediately knew that it was her shit because this ain't taste exactly like it should have.
Yeah,
but I can't give you that information because you gonna then talk shit.
So in other words, you don't necessarily feel like you can be honest with your wife.
Right. This nigga weird.
It's not that I don't feel like I can be honest with my wife. It's that I know that I want to avoid a conversation that this is going to trigger. It's not that I don't want to be honest. I know where this is going to go. Me saying, hey, she's like, how was your mom's food? It was pretty average today. If I say that, she's like, you should have let me cook for you. And now we're back at this conversation that I already don't want to have with you, that we've already discussed and addressed. 2, you have been with me for years, and this has been a thing. You an asshole because you now decide that I have to make changes because of what? You accepted me and married me while I was doing this. If you wanted a different nigga, you should have married a different nigga. Not marry a nigga and then expect him to be a different nigga.
This is true. That's why I think she'd ask. So I'd have been like, well,
I wouldn't have. I mean, I probably would have just not messed around.
This is why, but she's an asshole because now you're doing weird fugazi shit inside the relationship. You accepted that.
Yeah, if she came into it knowing that the mom was like feeding her, I just was like, it's like, y'all don't live together either? Oh, that's weird. Y'all probably just weird. And he probably
meals off.
No, I probably wouldn't have done that because to me that's inappropriate. And that's inappropriate because now she probably involved in other areas of her life. She's still cooking for your ass. Nope. That'd probably been a hard no for me. But if she go into it trying to change,
my thing is like, yeah, but she accepted that. She accepts that they go over there on the weekend and eat food all day.
I'd just been like, well, fuck it. I ain't got to really cook. If that came into that and accepted that situation.
Like you can't come in there and be like, be a whole different nigga.
Yeah, like, no, just stop that now. I want you to eat my food. Nick, I don't have to cook.
I never ate your food before. Why would I start now?
Right. And why did we get this far into the marriage?
I just don't understand.
That's why she's an asshole. But the other shit, that's just fucking weird.
No, but doing it after you've already accepted the situation is an asshole move.
Yeah, no, I called her an asshole for that. That's an asshole move.
Like,
but that weird shit,
I will
my
agree with
mom's
that,
still
but also the entire
tumbly.
pretense of this entire situation is very, very weird.
It's inappropriate. That's that emotional incest shit. Let me feed my boy. Get the fuck out of here, bitch, and grow up.
I wouldn't quite go that far. It's just like
you niggas is weird. Like,
I think I don't know. I feel like
if y'all not living together and you still cooking his meals, nigga, that's fucking strange, and y'all know it. Living together, sure.
But what she said didn't sound like they engaged. It sounds like she's either mailing them over.
That's still a labor of love. Stop trying to make it like.
That's not what I'm saying.
That is engagement.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yes, it is.
Because you are going.
No. Now you got to talk to her and be like, "What meal you having tonight?"
Can I finish what I'm saying, or y'all just gonna keep interrupting my point? Because y'all can't talk and listen.
Go.
Cool. Sure. Engagement on the mother's part. We can say that she's dropping off and they're engaging. But what I mean by engagement is not like, he's like, hey, mom, what would you make? Oh, thank you. I love the meal. And she's sitting down with them every single day for dinner. She's not coming over to engage with them actively and be a part of the relationship. She delivers the food however it gets delivered. He's at work, not there. It sounds like this woman stays at home all day because she's catching the meals and then mad. I'm not doing anything with my mother. She's making me something. If it wasn't my mother and it was a chef that dropped me off meals every single day because that was my lifestyle, it would be completely fine.
Yeah, because you paying them. It's a transaction. This is a transaction. I'm paying you to work for me. What your mother is doing is a labor of love. She's nurturing you still.
So if it was a friend that just did it for me?
and she was in the pan, that'd be weird for me too. Like, so you just cook for this nigga for free? The fuck y'all got going on over there? That is a labor of love to make someone a meal.
It is. I'm not saying that it's not. I've never said that it's not.
If your friend is doing it, that's not a platonic male friend and it's a female fucking friend.
No.
I'm gonna be like, what's going on here? Why do you feel like feeding my man? Bitch, don't you got another man to feed? Yeah, you'd be weirded out by that. Because if I had a nigga making me like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I put strawberries on it like you like, you know how I like that? Like, what the fuck? You'd be a little upset.
No, because if there was just food dropped off and y'all didn't engage.
And this
but
nigga
my
text you like,
issue-
I put the pickles on the side.
No.
Get
See,
the
you
fuck
add
outta
more
here.
because the mom's not doing on that. The only issue I would
don't
have
know if
is
she's
you
not
talk
doing
about
that.
going over here. Oh, we gonna go
But
to
that
his
is
house for this
indicative
weekend
of
to eat.
making
No.
food because he is insinuating that he gets the food just the way that he likes from his mother.
Exactly. She
So
know how to
she
prepare
knows
that shit.
everything just the way
Don't
that
put
I
too
like
much
it.
thought in here. Don't put no barbecue sauce in that bad boy. Come on now. It's a labor of love no matter how you put it, no matter
It
what
is.
degree of how involved they are in.
It
That's a
is.
labor of love that I don't think should continue after you move out your mom's house. Like,
You gone.
yeah, you
Just let
gone.
it
I don't
go.
have to keep doing this for you. Like,
bro,
not on a
you
continual
good, bro.
basis.
You can
You
keep
a
that
weird,
going.
bro. You're weird.
Yeah, you weird. You and your mom got something weird going on, and I don't want to talk about it. And that's what
Hopefully
this bitch
you
really
don't
mad about.
Hopefully you're not out here calling your girl mama while you in there stroking it. It's just like
Nigga, that's crazy. That's crazy, son. You got to move on to the next one.
with a weird lactation fetish.
Why'd you leave
Get
it?
out of here. I wasn't sure if I changed it. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, because you gave me this jank ass mouse. You just need to buy a new one. Buy a new Mac mouse. Stop being a cheap ass. Cheap ass. Lazy.
He's so mad.
Yeah.
So
I've been dealing with the same mouse, and then I walk in here one day, and my mouse is just gone, Ashley. And I'm like, where's my mouse? And I look over there, it's just like, nothing. It don't matter, Tony. I can see the black mouse under your hand.
I don't know what you're talking about. Matter of fact, cover it up.
I can see the black cord, Tony.
That could be a charger cord. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what that go to.
Oh my goodness, I almost want to throw this olive oil at you.
That's rude. All I know is,
You go, all right.
you want me to read it? Because
Sure.
I'm almost through it.
You
My
can
wife
pause.
and I tried for a baby for a long time, but couldn't have one. We finally decided to adopt, and we adopted a 12-year-old boy, Gerard, fake name. We weren't in a good financial situation, but we tried to do our best. 4 years after that, we had a daughter, Jada. A few years after that, I got a very good job. We were able to provide a very comfortable life for Jada. Also, I admit that as Gerard was our first child, we had no idea how to be parents and were more strict, like early curfew, being a little overprotective and things like that. But with Jada, we had more experience and didn't make those mistakes. Now Gerard 30 and Jada is 14. Gerard keeps complaining about how unfair it is that Jada has a better life. We apologized and told him we wish we could give him a better life, but things were different back then. Today, he was at our home and Jada was telling him about her boyfriend. He said, "You have a boyfriend? I wasn't allowed to have a girlfriend when I was your age." Then she told him about our trip and he told me, "You take her on trips? You never treated me like this. Guess we know who your favorite is." I just got mad and told him, "You can't just be happy for your sister. Stop acting like a kid. You're 30. Yes, I couldn't afford trips back then. Then just get over it." He called me an asshole and left. Jada is on my side and thinks he was being childish, but my wife said I'm an asshole and should apologize. Yeah, you're a dickhead, sir. I called my son after I was a dickhead and told him we loved if he would come on trips with us. Pity. But he said he didn't want to come and I could go by myself. I want to go when I was a kid. I asked him what he wants me to do now because I can't change his child and he wants me to leave him alone, so I'll be doing that. He is my son, but he is an adult and I can't do anything to help him if he doesn't want to be helped. So you're the asshole.
I mean, circumstances change. My life was different than my sister's life. Like, I get that.
Yeah, I don't think he the asshole here.
Like, the way he handled the situation was not correct. I think he's more of an asshole for the handling of the situation.
That's what he's asking about. I don't give a fuck about anything else but how he handled the situation. You're an asshole.
Yeah, well, if that's purely what we're making on, yeah, you're an asshole. Like, you definitely should have been, you should have worded that more judiciously. Because one, he's probably already insecure about the fact it's just like, because there's just these evident things. It's just like, this is your real child. I'm the adopted kid. So I'm already feeling less secure in pretty much everything on the earth as it is.
And you treat him like he's your adopted child. In the edit, you're like, I'm going to be leaving him alone. A parent that had a kid probably wouldn't have that sentimentality. It's like, oh, he's a dog, fuck him.
No, I understand what he was talking about. I get that.
Like, you got to leave, like, when someone's an adult, you got to let them make the choices that you're going to make. You can't sit up there and bash down the door. That's just going to
I wouldn't say leave him alone. Like, I don't give a fuck about you. Don't ever come wrong. But, like, at this point, since everything's so heated, initiating conversations and everything, especially if you're 30.
Just let it cool for a second.
Yeah, because if it's real and everything's supposed to come back together, then it'll come back together. You're not going to stop being my son after that. But I also understand why he was just like, just let me distance myself right now because there's nothing else you can really do. He told him to go, so I was like, yeah, maybe.
But also the thing about it is, like, I hate to tell every single first child this, you are all trial runs.
Yeah, I don't think he was an asshole. I don't know how else he could have said this any better. Like, it came out very bluntly, and I get that, but
well, no, it's just like
an asshole here.
I mean, quintessentially, what you needed to say. I acknowledge your feelings.
Yeah,
but I cannot control the amount of money I made when you were a kid as opposed to now. And it didn't sound like he had a terrible life.
Right. It just wasn't lavish.
We weren't able to do it like that. And now we can do a lot more stuff. And your daughter your sister is able to have different experiences than you were. And y'all lives were going to be different regardless. I get it. But it's not like I value you any less because it's not like this is just the way things were. If I was able to give you these things when you were a kid, I would have given them to you.
Right.
Now about not being allowed to have a girlfriend when you're 14, all that other erroneous stuff. Yeah, just people relax
yeah, that
after.
That just happened. My
the
fucking parents treat Riley. I swear to God, I joke with them about this, but I'm like, if Riley asked y'all for a crack pipe, y'all give it to her. Because that's just how lenient and how sweet they are. Here you go, baby. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you smoke it in the house. Like, I joke with them about that, but that's how lenient. That's how we get over the fact that, like, damn, wait a minute. Riley be getting away with murder over in this bitch. But that's just what be happening. And I understand his...
Pop, can I get a 12-gauge shotgun? Sure, Riley.
Right, go ahead, take it out in the backyard. Like... Yeah, they love her because they can give her the fuck back. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got none of the stress that they had. It's not their direct child, so of course they can only be lenient
but I can only say this coming from the younger siblings' point of view is just like I saw the way my mother was just like on the reins with my sister, and I'm sitting up here like I can call in like, hey, where are you? Oh, just kind of around. Not acceptable. I'm at Carl's house or I'm in yada, yada, yada place. Nah, dude, that was not acceptable for my sister. My sister late term mom. It's just like, why is he just able to meander around?
Yeah.
Because but also the fact that I've never been brought home by the cops. There were some other things that went along with that. And I was also generally just not as rebellious child as my sister was, but she would have had a lot less to rebel against if she had my rules as opposed to her own rules, which was like, oh, you have a 10 o'clock curfew. I've never had a curfew a day in my life.
Yeah.
I just had enough common sense to be like, bro, I have to be at school at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going to go home and go to sleep because I like sleep.
Yeah, he might be an asshole, but I don't think he is. But just nothing came out pretty like Gerard would have wanted it to. And
he can go fuck himself.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to debate with y'all, but he can kill himself.
Wow. Well, that's extreme.
Yeah, that's the conclusion I came to. if you're gonna be a parent or someone who chooses to be a parent, and not one that happens accidentally, you wouldn't pick this little nigga. So there's a different level of accountability.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like, I'm gonna say he is an asshole in the way he just dealt with the situation, but at some point, as like a 30-year-old man, like, you do have to get over some things. And it's just like, y'all lives are different. And I think
y'all put so much emphasis on age that denies the reality of people that we see who just have trauma. So ideally, yes, people would get over their trauma as they progress in life, but rarely is life ideal.
And that's why I said, hey, he told you leave him alone, leave him alone. He got to work through that shit himself. I don't care how fast or how slow. That is your issue, and you damn well can be upset about it. This is okay. I understand that shit hurt, don't it? But there's nothing else the father could have done, to be honest. Like,
I mean, unless you want to just go over there beating on his door and just be like, no, we gonna work this out.
What else we gonna do?
Oh no! At this point, you've already fucked shit up.
Yeah.
You can't uncrinkle the paper. So no, now there is nothing that you could do. But the reason that you're a fucking dickhead and you could jump off a bridge is because you could have handled the situation initially like a parent would have, and not like, oh, you're just a grown ass man that I have no responsibility to, which is how you treated him. Which is
he
fine.
Apologized.
That doesn't matter. What the fuck? Apologies don't mean
apologies
anything.
are literally saying, I'm apologizing for breaking the vase. It doesn't unbreak the vase.
Yeah, no, like that doesn't change shit. I hate
you can try and fix the situation.
The fuck? And what did it change?
Okay.
You can try and fix the situation, but
apologies that don't come with action and work and like corrected behavior are just hot air and lip service.
Well, I don't know how long that he's been dealing with this, like with this conversation. If he's said other things, like there's some lacking context here, because it's just like, well, how long have we been doing this? Well, she's 14, so it means if you've been saying this since you turned 18 for her 14 years of life, have you been just kind of like, oh, her life was better than mine. Her life was better than mine. Her life was better than mine. It's just like, honestly, yeah, unilaterally, her from being raised by her parents from the age from 0 to 14, yeah. She probably had a better life than you did.
She never had
you
to
were
go
in the
into,
system.
Yeah, so
being in the system sucks. And I get that. But I did what I could do by adopting you in the first place.
This doesn't make sense. This first line is so confusing to me.
All right. But next story.
Does that mean me? It says my 49 sister and 54.
AITA for telling my niece that she had potential and everything could have worked out for her too.
What?
My 49 sister and 54 had.
Yeah, exactly. It don't make no fucking sense.
And 54 has 2 daughters.
Is she 49 or is she 54? Or does she mean me?
I think my 49. That's her.
Oh, so me 49.
Sister Ann, 54.
Okay.
Has 2 daughters, including Ava, 28. I also have a daughter, Laura, 24. Me and Ann used to live a couple of streets apart when Ava was younger, so we could see each other a lot. Ava was always a sweet girl, but she was very quiet and shy. Nothing wrong with that. She didn't have many friends, even in her teen years. Ava studied at an Ivy League school, which of course is impressive, and she is now working at an entry-level job at a government agency. Laura was more social and very well balanced with everything. She got a full ride to her school. She kept it up and worked hard. So by the time she graduated, she had already been offered an internship under a close family friend of ours. She'll rise up the ranks pretty quickly as she continues, and we're overall proud of her. She very recently got engaged to her boyfriend, Tony, 26, who's great and hardworking young man. We celebrated Laura and Tony's engagement at a party on Friday night with mostly family and close friends of theirs. Anne and her family were, of course, invited. Ava lives in a different state now, as her job doesn't offer much flexibility, but she is currently visiting on break, so she was able to attend. Ava's partner, John, early to mid-30s, came to visit with her, so Laura told her to bring him too. I chatted with him for a bit and found out that he's an attorney, but he seemed pretty uptight and somewhat cold. My husband later introduced him to Tony, and Tony was gracious as always. I was talking to Ava, and she's happy that things are working out so well for Laura. I smiled and told her we're all very proud and happy for her. I added that she could have had everything work out for her too if she had. And she had a lot of potential too. Ava looked confused and asked what I meant. I said it just meant that it'll work out for her too. She got very mad at me and said that she's fine with how she is. Again, I told her I didn't mean it like that, and not everyone goes at the same pace, and that's fine. Ava brushed me off and said. And she and John ended up leaving shortly after, saying that
Are you a bitch?
that they had plans the next morning or something of that sort. I guess Anne heard because she told me later that I overstepped, but I replied that it's just the truth, nothing bad. I talked to Laura, my husband, about this. They both think I'm fine, but Ava was clearly mad at me.
You're a dumb bitch.
Tony going in on people today.
Dumb bitch. The fuck is wrong with you? I didn't ask you what you thought about my life. So what you did is offer an unsolicited opinion and a criticism at that, because a critique would have had some fucking solutions attached to it. So what you just said to me is, oh, your shit is cool. Bitch, who the fuck asked you? What do you... Actually, wait. Before I get mad, what do you mean by that? You know, your life is all right. It's not just as good as hers, though. By what fucking measure, bitch?
Well, what standard?
By yours? Do you live my life? Bitch, I'll hit you in the throat. Actually, I gotta go. 'Cause I'll hit you in the throat. I'm a throat punching motherfucker.
It was very
If I hit you in the
triggering.
throat, you're gonna fall.
What I'll say is, yeah, no, you're the asshole.
What are you talking about?
Because you just out here talking about stuff that because
You don't have
it's just like, oh, it's just a government job. Well, what does she do for the government?
God damn.
And her husband's an attorney.
It's just like, oh, but your lives are so much better.
So
It's just
what-
like,
you don't know shit about them because they don't live in the state.
next thing you know, yeah, she's just a government. It's like, I mean, how much do you make for a government? $250,000 a year?
Like, what
Oh.
do
Yeah, you gotta stop putting, oh, it's just
yeah, like what do you?
you could have just not said anything.
Yeah,
I mean, you
how
just
about
wanted your
shut the
daughter
fuck
to
up?
appear as
Silence
though that she was in a better
costs
position.
nothing. Yeah, like,
It's just like,
silence is
I know and
free.
like
That's like
Tony.
my grandma.
Yeah, silence.
And Tony
is
was
free.
benevolent as always. It's just like, bro, like,
So I thought, you know
you
what?
don't know anything about dude.
You know what I
He's
thought?
here meeting his significant
He
other's
could be
family
slapping
for
his
the
bitch
very
up a-
first time.
Yeah, he could be slapping
so
his bitch up the wall.
I'm gonna be a
He
bit
could be
rigid
doing anything.
because I'm around a bunch of people that I don't know, and I'm like walking on eggshells because I don't want to really fuck
Right, it
this
could
up.
be
'Cause I
gracious as
probably like
fuck.
this girl.
Right, going to home, calling her a fat ass bitch behind your back.
All
like
I
you never know.
is
Hiding the cookies from this bitch and shit
I
just
thought
because.
that story was going to turn into the husband and the wife that came into town being terrible people. But for her to tell the story and her be crazy wild. I thought she was going to tell a story about how they did something and how she had to defend like
No.
Tony and them, and like everybody got mad at her, like when she'd asked for
I'm
that.
telling you, these
And
people.
no, she lost her fucking. Hey, I told someone that their life was shitty
I just don't
for no
understand.
reason.
This is a great concept and idea, but now you get to see that people really just
Are bad
the
people.
validation that they would just be seeking. Like, I couldn't have the guts to go on here and just be like, I need y'all to validate this one thing because it's still on my mind. I don't need that. Even if I was an asshole, I don't give a fuck.
Oh, I feel like this is going to be a very interesting thing for I feel like any woman or anybody, honestly, but particularly women. Am I the asshole for yelling at my stepdad for snooping in my apartment after he was upset about what he found? So about a week ago, I, 22 female, you ran ahead.
I did.
Asked my
Look at
parents,
you.
27 male and 40 female, if they could stop by my apartment to check on my dog who had been sick while I was at work. My mom agreed. Everything seemed fine. They went over, gave my dog medicine, took him for a walk. Today, I went to my parents' place for dinner, and my stepdad refused to speak to me. If it looked at me, eventually I finally asked what the problem was, and he went off. Apparently,
Y'all
he
know I
had just
read
been
quick.
going through my things,
I'm done
and he
with this already.
went into my bedside drawer and found my toys. You can hear the air quotes in that. And contraceptive. He yelled at me told me that I was a disappointment and foul for having those things. And then he didn't raise me for 17 years for me to become a deviant whore. I stood there absolutely stuck, bright red from embarrassment as my younger brothers and grandparents were in the next room and could hear him. I yelled at him for invading my privacy, telling him that I'm an adult woman and that he has no right to go through my things in an apartment that I pay the bills in. I have banned him from my home and have blocked him. My mom says I'm being dramatic. And it just caught him off guard to see those things. And my brothers think I'm right to be angry. So AITI, just to clarify, he's been abusive in the past, which came about after I started hitting puberty. Me growing up, maturing has always seemed to be an issue. Also, my toys or such were in my bedroom, in my bedside table, not anywhere that he should have been. Update. Here's a more positive update for everyone. My mom and I had met for breakfast this morning. The first thing she did was apologize and tell me that I have every right to act the way I did and that she should have been in my corner. She's looked into divorce, but I have two brothers who are underraised, and because she works so much and travels for work, she is afraid that she will lose my brothers and have to pay 16 years of alimony. Wait, he'll do nothing ass nigga and go through your stuff?
You win, madam.
I didn't raise you to be a deviant whore.
He been doing that shit. Ew.
Deviant whore.
He said that shit in
You're probably the reason why my mother's never experienced an orgasm.
Yo, that nigga nasty.
I don't care. Because she paid them bills and put my pickle in the mouth.
All right, Morgan Freeman.
How about that?
So nasty. No, she
Deviant
wins.
whore.
She wins.
No, I'm the winner.
I mean, yeah,
The
dude is
dad
winning.
wins.
I don't work. I called you a deviant whore. Your mother defended me in front of your face. She can't leave me. How am I losing? She wants to keep the peace and she don't want me to leave either. So you know what that means?
So
There'll be a little pickle action.
Could you stop?
She's going to put the pickle in her mouth.
Stop it.
All right. I won't use the voice anymore. I'm just,
Stop it. This made me more uncomfortable than that video we watched with
Deviant
Aries Spears
whore.
and that little fucking boy. That's how uncomfortable that shit made me.
Oh my goodness.
funny. That's wild.
Why would you bring that up?
Why do you have to put it in my head?
Because now
Jesus
everybody got to
Christ.
feel weird now.
How did that feel weird? You know what? Now it's time to send your father hunting for your toys. How you feel about that now?
I wanted to say something real fucking horrible to y'all. Really fucking terrible.
I didn't say anything.
Really
I didn't
fucking
say
terrible.
anything.
I wanted to say something real
said
terrible. And I'm not
nothing.
going to let it come out of my mouth.
didn't say
I don't
anything.
give a fuck. You start laughing. You over here trying to encourage this nigga. So just by
You
default,
sit up here.
I just wanted y'all to know that I was about to say something really fucking terrible. But I'm not going
I
to
just thought
because
it was-
I fuck with y'all as a business partner. I swear to God, if you don't read the next one,
I thought it was
I,
a joke is why I laughed.
male 25, live with my wife, female 25, and have a little sister, Jade, female 15. Our parents have recently started fighting a lot and are considering getting a divorce. Jade has ended up in the middle of it all, spontaneously asked me and my wife if she could stay with us temporarily. I talked to my wife and we agreed. Jade started staying with us yesterday. My wife travels for a job every so often and currently is staying in another city and won't be back till Saturday. It gets very cold in our apartment, especially at night. Jade accidentally spilled ketchup on her pajamas while as they were in the washing machine. I called my wife to ask Jade to wear her fuzzy winter pajamas. No stores were open that I could go to buy Jade more pajamas as they were all closed, and I had no clean ones of my own. I couldn't lend Jade. She didn't answer the phone. After 4 missed calls, I gave up and sent my wife a text along the lines of, Jade spilled sauce on her pajamas and they're in the wash. I'm going to let her borrow your fuzzy ones for the night because it's freezing here as usual. I'll wash them afterwards. Today, my wife calls me absolutely furious that I let Jade wear her pajamas. I told my wife that I'm going to wash her pajamas today and Jade won't wear them again. I apologized and told her that I know I should have waited and for a response, but I didn't think it was that huge deal. My wife said it wasn't good enough and said I was a massive idiot for letting my sister wear her pajamas. She's never been all that particular about her clothes before, and the pajamas don't have a sentimental value to her. Was I the a-hole?
No, sir.
ETA, we do not own a dryer. We hang up our clothes to dry our laundry air, so that takes at least a few hours for them to dry. We live in Scotland. There's an energy crisis in Europe at the moment, so turning on the heating wasn't an option. The pajamas weren't expensive. They were from Primark. I'm guessing that's basically Walmart, except for Scotland. The ketchup got all over my sister's pajamas. After she ate her dinner, she accidentally dropped a plate on herself. After I got smeared all over the top of some bottoms. My sister was very upset. So, Jesus Christ. With all these freaking responses, y'all were asking way too many questions about something that's not really a fucking problem. My sister was very upset when leaving the house, so she probably wasn't thinking clearly enough to pack clothes. Okay. My sister and wife rarely spent time together except for special occasions. My wife avoided her because she doesn't like children. I don't accept the ones I'm related to. My sister has never borrowed anything from my wife in the past, and my wife doesn't have anything personal against her, at least that I'm aware of.
Wife's an asshole.
Yeah, she is.
She's just, I don't understand.
She's a frigid bitch.
This is why you niggas getting a divorce.
Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, it's just like, I feel like you did every single thing that you could to mitigate this situation.
I text you. I called you 4 times. You didn't answer your phone.
And this is in Scotland. So, I mean, we're near the UK. Everything's inside the same fucking time zone.
Yeah, she don't like this nigga. They don't like each other. So now everything is an argument.
It's just like, you shouldn't have let her wear my fuzzy pajamas.
Yeah, you're so inconsiderate. This is why, you already know.
This is like, I could literally consider everything.
That's a literal fucking, just a nice, I just want to argue with you today. All right, here we go. This is a nice reason.
All right, you silly girl. But that was another episode of AITA. Well, I guess we still got more time. So I thought we were ending, but we're still going.
What are we doing?
That was a real shorty.
I thought it was gonna take us to the end, but it didn't.
Never mind.
Yeah.
False start. Don't do that very often. But this is probably the last one right here, depending upon, maybe it's the last one. I don't know, depending upon how stupid the people are being. The stupider they are and the less nuanced the conversation, the less talk. AITA for telling my mom and stepdad that I wanted to go live with my dad. I just want to say I love my mom and stepdad, and I appreciate all that they have done for me. But I cannot live in a house with my older stepbrother, 18, anymore. He basically throws a tantrum whenever things don't go his way. He's an asshole to everyone, and is just very controversial and toxic person. And my mom and stepdad enable it all. Although my mom and dad have been divorced for years, my dad has been just as involved in my life as my mom and stepdad. There was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to go live with him after tonight. We all, my mom, stepdad, stepbrother, and myself, were playing a trivia game. All was going well, and everyone was having fun until my stepbrother made a big fuss over a question that asked, what language do they speak in Brazil? I said Portuguese, and he said Spanish. So he literally argued with me until he was red in the face, and he got into my face screaming that I was wrong, and my parents couldn't even get him to back off. He ultimately got so mad that he tossed the game board off the table and just ruined everyone's night. What happened tonight was among one of the tamest tantrums, but it was enough to tell my mom that I didn't want to stay with them anymore. So I called my dad and told him what happened, and he came and got me a couple hours later. My mom texted saying, I understand what happened and was upsetting, but you're not making the situation better by running to your dad. I'm so upset she said that to me. Like, what did I do? How am I the asshole here?
She gaslighting you.
That's right. Leave, bitch.
Yeah.
Leave. Protect your fucking peace. These niggas ain't getting this nigga under control, and you probably not going to. That's right. Go to your fucking fathers. Chill out there for a while until they learn how to handle this old
Or
fucking
just live there. Because you said that this nigga is active in your life and has been, seems like, equally as good and caring as a parent. So
right. Go to somewhere
I'm just going to
safe.
live with my parent.
I wish I had
how the hell did all
fucking
these good
option
people
sometimes.
create this asshole? Like, where'd this dude come from?
It could be a number of things. It don't matter at this point.
You just out here flipping. It's just like,
Leave.
they speak Spanish in Brazil. No, they speak Portuguese, dog. It's just like,
You said to this nigga was red in the face.
it literally says
you
Portuguese on the card.
crazy.
Well, the card is long. Let's go to the internet. What do they speak in Brazil? Portuguese. Oh, look. Is the entire internet wrong? Yes, because I'm the smartest person in the world. Well, you're pretty dumb.
We got so much information, and we don't got time for more trauma. Continue it on years after years, no matter who's inflicting it. So you right, young lady. If you feel a safe space is with your father, and them motherfuckers is like, well, no, we're a family unit. No, that's your motherfucking problem.
I'm cool with both of
need
y'all.
respite. Yeah, I need respite till y'all figure that out. This nigga too crazy. I wish I had somewhere to go when I was having trouble with my temper tantrum throwing ass family, but I didn't. We just had to stay there. Just had to deal with it till he was old enough to get you on.
That sounds hard.
Well, some of these are going by way quicker than I had any thought that they would. AITA for calling out a girl's lie when she tried to correct me. University is starting back soon. Many of my friends started moving back to town. I, 20 female, have a house with 5 friends. Small background, which is relevant. I wasn't born in the UK, but I moved here with my parents when I was 17. We come from another European country, so I speak native languages. Speak my native language, English, which is far from perfect. I've been learning Spanish and English since I was little. My Spanish is better than my English. I don't have an obvious accent in English. People just assume I am Canadian. We had a small party on Saturday. One of my friends brought his new girlfriend, Jess, female, 20s or 20s. She is the reason why I'm posting this here. Jess made sure to let everyone know that she's a polyglot and she speaks multiple languages. I obviously study modern languages, meaning that I am an Italian, German on top of Spanish. I'm learning Italian and German on top of Spanish. I obviously asked what language she speaks. She said Spanish, Japanese, Arabic, and my native language, German, Korean, and French. I told her how impressed I was and carried on with my evening. I had a short phone call with my mom, whom I obviously speak to in my native tongue. I went out of the house to talk to her. Jess was out in the garden and heard my conversation. She corrected me on my pronunciation. I told her she was wrong, and she insisted that she knows better. I didn't fancy getting in any argument, so I ignored her and went back to inside saying whatever. Later, I bumped my head and swore loudly in Spanish. I tend to code switch when I'm drunk, and she corrected my pronunciation, which was funny because it was her who was incorrect. I ignored her again. While later, I wanted my friend who is from Spain to hand me something, but forgot how it was called in English. So I said, hand me the Spanish word, please, knowing my friend understands. Jess decided to correct me again using the complete incorrect word. My friend and I looked at each other, and me being drunk, I lost my self-control and I spoke to Jess in Spanish, asking her what the hell she thinks she's doing. And she looked at me and telling me that my Spanish was so wrong, she didn't understand a word. It wasn't, but it wasn't okay. So I told her the same thing in my native tongue, to which she replied the same thing. I laughed at her and told her my native language, and she shouldn't lie about being a polyglot and correcting people when she doesn't actually speak those languages. She was fuming. She tried to grab her boyfriend's hand to leave with him, but he was too drunk to care and just said, "Told you to stop lying." I don't know how she got my number, but she called me this morning screaming that what an asshole I am to humiliate her, and that she knew I spoke the language. I am to humiliate her, that if she knew I knew the language, I spoke the language, she wouldn't have corrected me. I do feel bad now. I realize how humiliating this must have been for her, but on the other hand, she shouldn't have been lying. I don't know. Was I the asshole?
No.
This is like female Charles. Just great fucking lengths to prove this picture. Yeah, this sounds like something you would do.
Well, it's more so, it's just like, I gave you 3 strikes.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't leave me alone.
It's like, you had 3. I ignored you 3 times.
Why did you come to me doing this?
And then I speak to you in 2 different languages that you're supposed to know.
Mm-hmm.
And then your boyfriend just pretty much sitting up here probably smashing a beer. It's like, we need to know. Told you to stop lying. Glug, 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 glug. I'm going to go back to having a good time. Goes back to jiggying in English, which in the UK, which I don't know. It probably means like doing the Union Jack. I don't know what they do over there. Some random TikTok dance.
Why are you lying about knowing different languages?
I'm a polyglot. Oh my goodness.
Why?
It just reminds me, it reminds me of people trying to reinvent themselves in college without actually doing the work of the reinvention.
It's just like, you don't know shit about the thing you decided to be. And you go, my thing is, it's fine to say you know this and you're that. Why are you going around correcting other people?
And the funny thing is, it's not like she was trying to poke holes inside your knowledge base. Yeah, it's just like, excuse me, I asked for a thing in Spanish to a Spanish person. And they're like, so now 2 people know that you lying.
Yeah. I'm on the phone with my mom talking to her, and you correct me. I wasn't speaking to you.
Excuse me.
Why do you keep talking to me? I swore in Spanish because I hit my head. Where do you keep coming from? Why are you following me around in this party? What's happening? I want to be left alone. I don't know you.
Who are you?
And I don't know why you keep following me.
We're being a weirdo.
Stop it. And you didn't stop it, so then I got weird back. And now you're mad because my weird was weirder than yours.
It's just like, well, you don't know anything, and you should just stop lying.
You know what? I speak English, Spanish, and my native language. You, however, barely speak English. Stop talking to me. I didn't come to you and say, oh, let's speak in Spanish this entire night. I didn't do that. I didn't try and call your bluff.
I didn't care.
Oh, that's good for you. I'm going to go do what I got to do over here away from you. And moved away. I moved around.
And your boyfriend knew you've been lying about being a polyglot this whole
The fact that
time.
he said, I told you stop lying is the best part. He said, madam, you will not bring this drama to me. And ruin I'm having a good time. And you're the liar here. And I know you're, no. He speaks the language. You're a liar.
I told you walking into this that this was a bad idea.
I've been letting you get this lie off at all the other parties. Because I don't care. I don't care that you tell people that. If they believe you, they believe you. But what I'm not doing is leaving because you're mad because someone caught you in the lie. Stop lying. How about the fuck?
It's like you showed up and I'm a polyglot.
Yeah, for no reason.
It's just like no one asked you whether or not you spoke other languages.
How did this even come up? You just start giving
You just
information.
volunteered the information and got angry, and nobody would have honestly remembered it if you just didn't run around correcting people.
Yeah, no.
It's
I'm
just
not-
like, no, I'm right.
I've never met a person that spoke multiple languages and was like, oh, you are now the new party trick. Speak another language for me. Say something funny, man. It's never
Just
happened.
like-
That's not what happens when you, oh, that's cool.
Right. That's it. That's
right.
That's it.
Maybe if
what's
you're
up.
dealing with someone and you're dating them and they speak another language, maybe you start to try and learn that language.
Pick
so you
up
can
some words
converse with
here or
someone
there.
in their native language as well. That's normal, but you
Like,
just...
You want to know the honest to God, the only reason I care if my significant other has another primary language, because it's just like, when we are having sex and I can get you to revert to that previous language, I know I'm doing my job. It's just like, I just got to skip a whole connection level. I can't speak to you in English right now. I had to revert to... Unfortunately, hopefully, like not Russian. It's just like there are also other languages that I just don't want you to speak. It was just like, oh god.
All right.
I
I
would
guess that's a
take-
good indicator.
Russian. But that's mostly because, oddly, in Sacramento,
There's
Where I
a
grew up.
large Russian population.
there is.
It makes a certain
I
degree of sense
went-
because you were on the same coast as them.
Yeah, so I went to school with a lot of Russians. Like, I learned how to say, like, grandma, grandpa, and, like, some other things in Russian. I have some Russian homies. So, for me, it's like, if she spoke Russian, that'd be all right. I'm really familiar with that. It's not, like, out of my wheelhouse. Now, the thing that I had never really seen before coming out here was Jewish people.
Oh,
Like, there are so many Jewish people out here that y'all take their holidays off at times.
yeah.
That's not even considered a thing in California.
I wouldn't know if I had it. Like, I have dated a Jewish girl before, but she never reverted to like speaking Yiddish. It's just like, what are you saying to me?
Shout out to Matt because he know how to speak Yiddish.
Oh, she's actually from Honduras, but that was an interesting time.
Someone should teach me how.
It's a secret language. But all right, it's time for the real close this time. This has been AITA again. It's been 8, and this is the 8th, and all of the things. All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe. We love y'all, and we out.